To look at the top stories this evening. Industrial accident claims one life at a subsidiary of Melcom Group of Companies in Accra.
Electoral Commission staff who petitioned the president to remove Charlotte Osei as EC boss again petitioned the Office of Special Prosecutor to deal with dismissed EC boss for causing financial loss to the state.
Also ahead this evening, Education Ministry urges University Teachers Association of Ghana UTAG to rescind on its decision to go on strike over payment of book and research allowance.
And coming up in business, Ghana Free Zones Authority to delist non-performing companies registered under the Free Zones Enclave.
And on the foreign front, Trump administration expects economic sanctions it is reimposing on Iran this week to further cripple the Iranian economy.
We have all the details, including sports and entertainment, coming up this hour. Remember, we're also live on Channel 279 on DSTV. Now,
the Senior Staff Association of the Volta River Authority are demanding the resignation of the Energy Minister, Boakye Ejako. At a news conference in Accra, the national chairman of the association, Cephas Duse, said, contrary to claims by the sector minister that Ghana will gain $405 million from a renegotiated power deal with Ameri Energy, the country would rather lose up to $472 million.
The Honorable Minister is incompetent, lacks integrity, or absolutely not on top of his job. We think that by the current deal, the Energy Minister has exhibited financial recklessness with intent to assist a foreign company milk the state. We therefore call on him to honorably resign immediately and save the government and this nation from further disgrace and embarrassment and time wasted. We plead with the president to sack him if he so honorably fails to what? Resign.
The national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Volta River Authority, Cephas Duse, explained when all available options are considered, the renegotiated Ameri deal cost $995 million.
Ameri plant will have a utilization factor of less than 20% from 2019 to 2023. And from all the analysis, the option of what? Keeping the existing agreement appear to be the least cost.
He indicated the difference committed power.
Certainly, Issa, but in some other news this evening, the Ministry of Education has urged the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, to rescind its decision to go on strike. The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, disclosed that the sector ministry had already submitted documentation to the Finance Ministry for the payment of the 2017-2018 book and research allowance.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, gave government up to July 31 to pay the 2017-2018 book and research allowance. Its leadership had served notice that members would withdraw their services by close of day on Tuesday, August 7, if their demands were not met. The Minister of State in charge of tertiary education, Professor Kwesi Yankah, explained that the ministry has already presented their documents to Finance Ministry for payment.
2 or 3 batches of these packages that they submitted. The first 2 packages have been worked on, and I told them last time they have been worked on at the Ministry of Finance. They are now moved to the Controller and Accountant Generals, where there have been a few set delays. We are asking them to just untie the red bands, as I said the last time, and wait for them to be processed at the Accountant General's Department.
He therefore pleaded with the lecturers to rescind their decision.
This is, of course, not the first time ever. It happens every now and then when there are challenges here and there. So they should bear with us in the next I think within the next few days, this will be ready.
But President of UTAG, University of Ghana branch, Dr. Harry Agbanu, disagreed.
The money is supposed to be for the academic year 2017-2018. And we have finished. We have done our job. We have borrowed monies to do all that we needed to do to help our students and to help our institutions. So what patience, what restraint.
He warned of a possible nationwide strike from August 7 if payment...
Now, in some breaking news coming in this evening from the presidency, the Communications Directorate of the Jubilee House in Accra, signed by the Director of Communications, Eugene Ayen. It reads, President Kufuor relieves Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko of his position. The President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, has by letter dated August 6, 2018, relieved the Minister of Energy, Mr. Boakye Agyarko, of his position with immediate effect. The President has asked Mr. Boakye Agyarko to hand over his office to the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, who will act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. It further writes, the President wishes Mr. Boakye Agyarko well in his future endeavors. So that's the breaking news coming in this evening from the Communications Directorate of the Jubilee House in Accra. The President, Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, has relieved Minister for Energy, Boakye Agyarko, of his position. We're bringing you some more details on this breaking news as it happens. You can get some more on our website. It's 3news.com.
Yeah, that's
Quite
definitely,
journalist.
I mean, the showmanship there from Nuri.
He has a future in journalism.
Absolutely. So you can also send your video report to us. We'll be glad to show it.
Certainly.
Okay.
You're still live here on News 360. Let's take a look at how the weather will be faring this evening through till tomorrow morning. Scattered cases of thunderstorms and rain are expected over northern Ghana, mainly over the upper regions, while the middle sector will be partly cloudy with isolated cases of thunderstorms and rain tonight. Here's the forecast. And just to run you over some breaking news this evening, as we said earlier, communication coming in from the Communications Directorate of the Jubilee House in Accra, signed by Eugene Ayen. He's the Director of Communications. It says, President Kufuor relieves Minister for Energy Boakye Agyarko of his position. The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, has by letter dated August 6, 2018, relieved the Minister for Energy, Mr. Boakye Agyarko, of his position with immediate effect. The President has asked Mr. Boakye Agyarko to hand over his office to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, who will act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment is made. The President further wishes Mr. Boakye Agyarko well in his future endeavors. That's the breaking news coming in this evening. President Kufuor has relieved the Minister of Energy, Boakye Agyarko, of his post, and Mr. John Peter Amewu is going to be filling in temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment has been made. That's a breaking news coming in this evening. Get some more on it on our website. It's 3news.com. You're watching News 360. You've got the latest of news from the world of business coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back to News 360. On the international front this evening, the Trump administration expects economic sanctions that it is reimposing on Iran this week to further cripple the Iranian economy. Senior U.S. administration officials said on Monday, Washington will aggressively enforce the measures.
The so-called snapback sanctions, due to come into force early on Tuesday, will target Iranian purchases of United States U.S. dollars, metals trading and other dealings, coal, industrial-related software, and its auto sector. Iran's real currency has lost half its value since April under the threat of revived U.S. sanctions. The plunge in the currency and soaring inflation, sporadic demonstrations in Iran against profiteering and corruption, with many protesters chanting anti-government slogans. President Donald Trump is aiming to cut off the Iranian leadership's access to resources. The United States also plans to reintroduce potentially more damaging sanctions on Iranian oil in November. But the U.S. sanction strategy has several weak spots, especially the reluctance by Europe and China to curtail business with Iran. The European Union voiced regret on Monday at the looming U.S. sanctions. Donald Trump warned on Monday of severe consequences for people or entities that fail to wind down economic activities with Iran.
And you can get some more international news on our website. It's 3news.com. Coming up next on News 360 is entertainment with Miriam.
Right. So I'm sure we're going back to that breaking news.
Absolutely. Like we mentioned earlier, President Kufuor has relieved Minister for Energy of his position. That's Boakye Jacko. Now, the president has said that Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu, will act temporarily as Minister for Energy until a substantive appointment has been made. So that's the news coming in this evening as Minister for Energy, Boakye Jacko, has been relieved of his position by President Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor. There's more on our website. It's 3news.com, and we'll bring you some more on news at 10, which will also simulcast on 3FM 92.7.
Well, and that's it for this edition of News 360. My name is Lisa Moni.
I'm Natalie Forth. Thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely evening.